Welcome back, everybody. This is our second moving cat live of the day. You guys might have seen Zukari Serval go from his enclosure out to his new Outback enclosure. The last hour-ish or more has been dedicated to moving Bailey Bobcat, and Bailey Bobcat is already in her new enclosure, which is the enclosure Zukari just came out of. And now we are over here to scoop up Moses.
Cross your fingers, he goes in this.
I know. I was just about to say, I mean, Aaron and I just stood inside Bailey's enclosure for 40 minutes waiting on her to leave the squeeze cage.
She liked it.
She loved it. So now we've got Mr. Moses, who's over here with Jamie and Afton. So this is Moses. Moses is in his early 20s. He shares an enclosure with Bailey. He was recently doing some limping, so they're trying to get a good view of his foot while he's in there. And then Aaron and Lauren are bringing in the squeeze cage.
It can also be like arthritis, irritating, because nothing she doesn't have any cold on her body.
Yeah, Bailey actually, Aaron was able to trap her in the feeding lockout, and then it took her some very vicious convincing for her to go into the squeeze cage. Then when we got her over to the enclosure, it was like a 40-minute standoff for her to leave the squeeze cage. So flashback to Marianne. Now we've got Moses, who went into lockout very easily. I'm gonna keep my distance though. I'd like for him to have an easy transition. Thank you guys for sharing this, tagging each other, and alerting people that we are live. We don't always do lives throughout the entire day like we're doing today.
Oh my gosh, best boy ever.
That's Michael boy. Good job.
Ever. He's still on meds. It's the easiest one all day.
Through the 4th, yeah.
What is he on? Baytril and
Gab.
He finishes his Benadryl today, and he has Gab and Baytril till the 4th. But he got his Baytril already today. Yeah, he got Baytril, Benadryl, and Gab this morning, and then he just gets his last unhealth tonight. And he'll need either that or more food, because he only gave him half of his breakfast. Get the kids settled.
So, we're gonna load up Mr. Moses. Thank you to everybody who is helping help out in the comments, because that is really important when we're doing lives like this. I'm not usually reading anything you guys are saying. And so when we've got newcomers that are wondering what the heck we're doing, who we are, what we're about, it's so helpful when you guys tell them all about Big Cat Rescue and how we run a GFAST accredited sanctuary. All the various things that we do, so. Yeah, Bailey was a lot more like Zukari, only even more of a standoff. Jamie's gonna check his foot out a little bit more. He is on meds through the next couple of days. I'm just trying to see if it's like a new issue or maybe arthritis or an existing issue. If it was a love spat with Bailey.
Oh, he's so cute. Did you ever manage to hold Bell's foot? Yeah, read it. Really?
Yeah, he used like sharp thingies and was like grabbing at it, and she
Really?
yeah.
So she was so focused on somebody else.
She wanted to eat the PR lady from
The ones that count.
Oh, yet again, I'm like, I don't know where my card is. All right, so we're gonna take him down and you will see them be placed back into the same enclosure together, just a brand new enclosure. These kids, for as long as I have been a Big Cat Rescue, which is 7 years, this, let's see, next month? What month is this? March? Oh gosh, okay, well I moved to Florida 7 years ago. So that means that I am coming up on 7 years of Big Cat. But they have always lived in that enclosure. It's an awesome enclosure, but it has super high platforms, it has super high tunnels, and with Moses being in his early 20s now, his back foot is, you know, been operated on before. He's been back to limping. We really want to give him a little more of a geriatric enclosure, something that is going to be more flat, less climbing. Even though bobcats love to climb and be up high, at a certain point we have to make sure for safety that they are not. They've also never ever been on Funcation before, and so this is their other opportunity where we pretty much won't have to put them back in a squeeze cage unless it's a hospital thing, because the enclosure that they are moving into is now going to have the above ground tunnel that we can open and let them go to and from Funcation on their own. That's 22,000 square foot enclosure right next door to them. So we did toss in Bailey's whole prey rat, but Moses is not allowed to have that, so unless she took it and ate it, we're gonna have to retrieve it. Otherwise, right as we were leaving, Miss Bailey was discovering this little den over here.
Same direction.
But now she's in the hay. Hi, Bales. It's just your man. It's just Momo. Momo delivery. Just a Momo delivery, Bales. It's okay. So Bailey Bobcat, who moved earlier. They're gonna carry Moses in and hook him up to the little tunnel that connects to the same bubble so that Moses and Bailey will both be in the same side. Then they'll have access to the entire section that Zukari had, which I can quickly show you guys before this live is over. This tunnel over here that they're gonna hook him up to. It'll be interesting to see how feeding goes with these two. They're the only couple on property that we don't normally separate at all for feeding, but their feeding lockouts used to be right next to each other. Now they are going to be slightly away from each other, so it's going to be interesting. She's always been the dominant eating one. What a good boy, Moses. My goodness. Look, she's over here.
Oh, little heart's beating so fast for him.
Momo, look, it's Bales. Look right behind you, it's Bailey. Oh, never mind. He's like, oh, her? Oh, crap, you moved her here? Momo! I'm sure they'll be very happy to see each other, but they have been separated for a little while because of his limping. Look, it's a Miss Bales in there. That's a feeding lockout. How exciting. That's where you can find a water bowl. I see a surprise pounce at some point. There's gonna be a surprise pounce at some point. Hi, sweetheart. Hi, sweetheart. You're okay. You see her back there? You're all right, handsome. He's got to check it all out, see where his new perimeters are. You should look behind you.
Time to adventure, kids.
She's like a little snake hiding in the grass. Yeah, and less tall tunnels to give us all heart attacks. Oh, he's just like, oh, this is mine now too? Okay, great. You want to give a home tour, sir? There he goes. So they have all the way back to that white fence that you see in the background, and there's a tunnel back there that will attach them to Funcation. So that's very exciting. They've never been able to walk themselves there before. And we'll change all the signage, of course, but this will be the other lockout. So they each have a feeding lockout. That's the tunnel right there that he can use when it's time to go on Funcation. And then there's actually a doorway over here that leads him off in that direction into another big bubble with another water bowl over there. No, of course we did not move the flower pot. That's been there as long as Big Cat Rescue probably has. But also, if we're worried about his mobility, him crawling down inside of that was probably not a good idea anyway. As well as, I haven't seen him use it in a really long time, so. Are you exploring? Lots to explore. Alright guys, well thank you guys very much for watching, for sharing, for donating, and for helping out in the comments. Moses and Bailey now officially have a brand new home right next door to Funcation, so maybe that camera will see them occasionally. I'm going to figure out what the next plan is. We've got more cats in the works that are moving, but I don't know what else is getting done today or not. So thank you guys. You can rewatch here on Facebook or at dailybigcat.com. You can also see us move Zukari earlier. All right, thanks everybody.